Much better. Okay, who wants to share any wins you've had this week?
I'm alive. That's the only thing I can say now.
That is a win. That
Yeah.
A
is
major
a
win.
win. You cannot take it for granted because, hey,
No, you
the Bible
cannot.
says a living dog is better than a dead lion.
Yes.
So, yes, I love that. Okay. So, in addition to being alive, anything else?
Nothing from me is same, same old.
All right.
I
Mo?
can share something I already shared with you.
Okay.
For me, uh, it is really major. Every time I still sit down and I'm like, God, I don't know how you did this for me, where I would have had a major staffing issue.
Right.
Major, I shared it with you where a staff, like I had, I have a staff who had gone on her, what do you call it?
Maternity.
Maternity leave. And while she had left on her maternity leave, someone else got pregnant, I guess because she was single. She first hid it for a while before she spoke. And she now had to come and say, I went to the hospital and they said I was pregnant. I'm like, young lady, it was a case of young lady, you didn't do anything, it just came on. Well, congratulations, you're fruitful, and it's like, so I had that situation where someone was going to resume and the other person would now go on maternity, and that was going to be really hard on everybody. But it was like the lady who was on maternity, and the lady who was on maternity, interestingly, had a kind of job too, because she was the officer for a particular client. She was still doing her job, reaching out to them to make sure they were doing their payments and all that, because all that required was WhatsApp work. And she said, she didn't want to sit at home and do nothing, that she would just keep up with that. So she was working, so everyone was happy. 2 days to her resumption, while we were counting down and everything, she now calls the HR person to say, I will resume, I will not resume. It made no sense. And he's like, what are you talking about? He said, well, it's her husband. He doesn't want her. He's saying this, he's saying that. And of course, HR person, however they went on talking, it became a case of, I have to speak to your husband that this cannot work out. That, look, you owe us resumption time. Even if you're going to leave, you have to give us at least 3 to 4 months. Then you can go, because we have this situation. You're aware of this other lady and all that. To cut a long story short, when he discussed with her husband, when she realized the way the conversation was going, she hurriedly sent him a text message and said, on no account must you let him know exactly how much I earn, because I lied. She lied to her husband about her pay and the different things she gets from the company so that she can get money from her husband. And the husband is like, well, not on your life. You're not going back to that place and all that, because I can't keep on giving you money. And it just became a mess. And this was 2 days to her resumption. So by the time the HR person had to tell the husband some of the things, he realized he had to be very careful so he doesn't create issues in someone's home. And technically, you can't even tell the husband her pay anyway. Yeah. So when he came to me, I'm like, well, the Lord is always in control. You would not believe it. Suddenly, somebody in her church who knew somebody and somebody whatever arrives at work 2 days later with a CV for somebody who was looking for a job and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, what? When I saw it, I said, let's go, because my HR person was still saying, okay, babe, we can call her. I said, no, call her today. If she's available today, we will let her come back. We will interview her and everything. And honestly, she came back, we interviewed her, she brought her documents, everything, and she was a fit for the job. It could only have been God. So when I gave her an offer, when we discussed, okay, this is how much we're going to give you, we are waiting to hear, okay, this and that. And to my shock, she says, "Can I resume tomorrow?" It's like we looked at each other like, huh? I'm like, yeah, sure. And it's like, okay, see him and he'll tell you all what you bring and all that. And for me, you know, it's I'm still in awe. I mean, she's going through trading and everything. She's doing very well and all that. But I'm still in shock. You know, I'm just interested. I sit back sometimes and I'm like, how? Because, like, you know, I have some things coming up next month, you know, and with all those things in place, the last thing I need is any staffing issue. So that's just a major win for me.
And
I'm
I
so
like,
Can I
happy.
say something?
yes.
Yes, please.
You know what came to my mind when you were saying this, Sister Muji,
Yes.
is the scripture that positions will be created for me. So that is that other lady's prayer. That position was created for her. You are praying for something
Yeah.
for the other person not to go. It was an answer to our own prayers that this
Yeah.
position is being
It's a-
created for me. Someone will be
Yes.
removed for me. So I think for
Yes.
her, it was the answer to our prayer that someone somewhere is being removed to
Esther
create a
and
position for
Vashta.
her.
Yes. That's
And
it.
that just came to my mind as you were talking.
Awesome. That's it. That is it.
I celebrate that win, you know, with you. It's great. And it just goes to make us understand that in business is spiritual. It
Yes.
is so, so, so spiritual because there was your heart. You didn't even have to like particularly start saying, I'm praying about it, but God saw your heart. And like one day said, like somebody else is crying out there. And God created that opening for her. And
Yeah.
I think what that also lets us know is that we mustn't fret. He always makes a way, always makes a way. And it's a good lesson to have that no matter the hell that may let loose, there will always be a way out. And that is just a good way to start our lesson for today. So it's not a
Yeah.
lesson. Today is a coaching call. We're looking at the workbook. I think we already did lesson 4.
Yes, we're in lesson 4.
We did
Did
lesson
we do lesson 4?
No, I said we are doing lesson. Are we not doing lesson 4 today?
Haven't you done lesson 4?
We have. You because okay, one day missed the class.
I missed the class. Oh,
Yes, we
sorry.
did
Yes,
lesson
but
4 last week.
I went to check it.
Yeah, because I
Okay,
was
yes,
it was just me. Because I remember you
Yes.
saying go to a workbook. That's why I was looking for the workbook that we
Yes.
were going to discuss the points.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I think I have not, I don't know if I've uploaded lesson 4, have I?
I think you have.
I'm not sure I've uploaded lesson 4 in the portal. I'll do that today. So I want to now open so this is not a lesson. We're going to just try and look at the worksheet and work through it, ask questions, and just have conversations about it. So, in fact, I might as well share my screen so you'll see how I also go in. So that's me logging into my own portal. So I'm logging in now as a student myself. And this is Clarity to Cash Flow. And okay, let me take this is lesson 1 to 4. Download. Oh, did it twice. So we want to just like actually have multiple multiple workbooks. So I have to keep checking that. That's actually why I went to the website. So I'm downloading the correct one. Okay, so I want to look at this together. It says this workbook accompanies module 1 of Clarity to Cash Flow Secrets Each lesson has a focus exercise designed to move you from vision to a concrete, profitable structure. All right. And it tells us what is inside each lesson and best results. Watching the lesson, being honest with yourself. So, to remind us of what we've been through, we began with the post-birthing assignments. You remember we spoke about breaking the incubation trap, where you don't want to keep talking about what you want to do without actually taking action. We spoke about tangibility tactics, where we spoke about making the invisible visible. We spoke about the geometry of service. We spoke about the niching of whatever we have. So, as a business person, who are you serving in your career? Who are you serving? And then we looked at the profit alignment. That's why we did the 3 levels of scaling: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Let me do a quick reminder of that. Since one day wasn't present, so let me just do a quick reminder of that. Okay. Just a quick run through. So when I think we discussed this about poverty mindset. We discussed mindsets. Did one day were you here when we discussed cognitive dissonance?
I think so. But even the one I missed, I've already gone back to listen to it.
Oh, okay. So we're good then. So
Yes, I went back to listen to it.
Okay, so we focus on the workshop then.
Okay.
On this lesson then. Okay. So this first part says the post-birthing assignment. Being pregnant with a promise is not the same as raising a purpose. Your brain releases dopamine when you talk about your vision, giving you the feeling of success without the work of starting. And this called the incubation trap. The post-birthing assignment is the wood cutting phase, treating business planning as an act of worship and not a secular course. So here was the questions I had asked us initially. Write the definition in your own terms or your own words. What would you call a spiritual conception? So we can have that conversation. What would you define as spiritual conception? And that's open to anybody.
I think I can start.
Mhm.
I think for me, spiritual conception is something that I've been thinking about for a long while. I haven't birthed it, but it's something like I'm having like a leading in my spirit to do it, but I haven't taken any steps to actualize it.
Right. Okay. How will you define it, Moj?
Spiritual conception. I think it would be something that for me I don't know what word would I use, not hounding, but something that, when something constantly pops at you, you turn around and it's in there, it's coming out. You're trying to do something and it's coming,
Okay.
it's constantly, you understand, like just always coming at you, like you always find yourself processing it, going back to it. You're doing something else, it comes back again, like something like that.
So why would you say it's spiritual conception? What makes it spiritual?
Well,
Because
what would make it spiritual? Well, because except if something has been, well, if it has been heavy on your mind, maybe you've been praying about something,
Okay.
you've been praying about something, and well, in our own terms, doesn't mean praying about a particular business, but somehow, I don't know if I'll call it an aspect or something else, just keeps on forming.
Mhm.
That's why we call it spiritual. It's something that you have to go and dig into.
So
Although this is a conception, though.
in line with what we are doing, and your goals, would you say that you have a spiritual conception?
yes,
Okay. What gives you the assurance that this is a spiritual conception? So you don't have to answer it right now. That is what you want to consider when you are looking at these documents. You want to go deep into yourself. You want to apply it. So it's not asking for a generic answer. It's basically probing that this dream, this idea you have, would you say it was spiritually conceived? Because as believers, we want to start from that place first. Okay? So we move on to the second one, which is the pregnant pause. What do you remember what that means?
I don't remember what it means. I remember the term. I'm trying to remember.
I remember the term too.
Yeah.
So basically, but think of it, it's self-explanatory. Somebody who's been pregnant for a long time, if you are pregnant for a long time, it's incubated, you've conceived something. If you've been pregnant for a long time, you still have to give birth. When do you want to give birth? That is that question asking you, how long have you been carrying this idea?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yes.
You understand? So would you say that you are in a pregnant pause as of today?
Yes, for me.
Okay.
No, for me.
Okay. So the goal of all of this exercise is that we need to move away from the pregnant pause. So to be in a pregnant pause means that there is something that you have conceived, that has been conceived by the Spirit, that you want to do, but you have not taken any steps towards it, or you have done a lot of starts and stop, and you have not actually moved on it. What is the incubation trap?
Sorry, can I just take us back a minute?
Yes, please.
When you're talking about this spiritual conception,
Mhm.
when you say it's something you want to do, it can be aspects in your business, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that if you are desirous of maybe doing a particular thing and you've been carrying it in your heart,
Yes.
praying about it, moving, and then you now find then the pregnant pause is when you're doing nothing about it.
Exactly.
But then if you've now gone past that and you've now actually done it, what is that? You've started doing it.
Then you are doing it also in the pause state.
You're not in a pause. Okay,
No,
okay, great.
no.
Okay, yeah. Because there are some things that, I had in my heart, and I'm glad I've started one.
Doing on it. So what is the incubation trap?
That is when you're stuck in the idea and I think you haven't moved forward.
But you talk about it, you
I
write
just got
about
stuck.
it, you get excited about it. So what that does, that it gives you the false impression that you are actually doing something, but you're actually not doing anything about it.
All talk and nothing.
All talk and nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then we spoke about the stewardship mindset. Do you remember what that means? So the stewardship mindset is we want to move from it is me doing everything myself to God has given me this thing. Therefore, I am doing it as an act of worship. I am serving God in it, so that it doesn't feel so belabored, like I'm striving to do all these things. I am serving God as I'm doing it. Because let's face it, the more money you make, the more tithes you can pay. You understand? And whatever else however else God will lead you to serve Him. Okay. And then remember the Ark protocol. What was the Ark protocol? Think about rain and think about the fact that what is his name? Noah. No, did Noah see the rain before he began to build? No,
Nope.
No.
exactly. So, all right. So we also look at these statistics. The fact that 42% of startups fail because there was no need for that particular market. So, in as much as we're excited, today I sent a link to my coach. I don't know how many times I've sent that link to him. And there's always one little thing to correct. Yesterday I felt I've gotten it, until he asked me a question. I was like, oh my God. Anyways, in fact, I told him that the analogy I gave him for the link I sent to him that I've been working on, I said is the case of Aaron, where he told Moses that when he threw in the gold into the fire, the calf came out. That what I've done, that is hacking to it. So I had to go back, do my correction. So when I finished, I now sent it to him and I said, I am pretty sure you'll be happy with this one. His response is not me being happy, it is your market that needs to be happy with it.
Mm.
And that was, a good reminder and reposition of my mind that this is not about my coach likes it. It's about, does your market like it? Is this what your market wants? So anything that we are doing, we're asking that question. This skill I have, is there a need for it? Who wants it? This service I'm giving, is that what my market wants? Because if my market doesn't want it, then hey, you know. All right, then we move on. So as you look at each of these things, you are looking at it vis-a-vis where you are today in whatever you are doing, right? So let us look at the tangibility filter. All right. So this serves as your baseline. So your inspiration, look at your vision. What is inspiring you? When you look at your business, when you look at your career, what really is your inspiration? So I want to jot some notes down here. Okay, this one says, what did I see or feel? When you imagine yourself, what are you seeing? Why? What is the bottom line inspiration for that? You want to make some notes there. All right. Then, how long have I been sitting on this? Okay. Now, this one says, have I been incubating for less than 6 months, 6 months to a year? Basically, you determine. All right. Here it says, my honest dopamine habit has been. So if you have been sitting on it, what is your dopamine habit? Is it that you are journaling it but not doing anything about it? Every year, when you write your to do for the year, you write it down, but you don't actually take actionable steps for it. Okay? Is your own that you are telling people about it? What is your own dopamine release? Is your own that you are designing logos, branding yourself if you're in business? Is your own that you actually went on LinkedIn, you look, and that was the only day you went on LinkedIn? is your own that you are still saying, I'm waiting on the Lord. What is your honest dopamine habits? So basically, what we're doing here is this is like a foundation. Where am I today in this journey? All right. Now, the assignments. It says, what is the physical vessel I must build to hold this vision? It says a book, a course, consultancy, product line, app, service, ministry program, order. So you alone can answer that question. What is the vessel? A new certification. What is the vessel? For whatever dream you have, what is I just asked us the main thing, the vessel that will hold that vision, for that vision to be actualized. And I have here, describe your vessel in one clear sentence that is simple for you. All right. So if I want to run, I can say I will build a course that would address XYZ situation. I would take the necessary prerequisite courses to enable me attain XYZ. What is your own vessel? You want to look at it. Now, you're going to reflect. Have you been acting like the owner of a dream or the steward of a project? As I said earlier, when we look at stewardship versus ownership. All right. Now, how do you think it would manifest for you if you decide to look at being a steward in whatever field of assignment you have? How do you think that will play out in the way you reason, your reasoning, and in your action?
You want us to answer that now?
Yes, sorry. I thought you were thinking through.
I was thinking, but I wasn't sure whether you wanted an answer right now.
Yeah, sorry. I should have, yeah. So the next part to it says, what is one behavior that shows you are acting as a steward of the dream or the idea?
I think I need to have a mind reset on the behavior that is acting as a steward for the idea.
I like that.
Because honestly, I haven't taken actual steps in the last couple of weeks, and I think I need to start taking actual steps.
Mhm. Exactly. So this reflection helps you to face the stark reality of where you are. Okay. Now, like this one says, if your vision were a baby and it had a due date, how overdue is this baby?
Very overdue.
There you go. And what happens when a baby is overdue?
It grows teeth in the womb.
Yes,
Sorry.
or the doctor will say they're going to induce.
Induce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't. Sorry. I
An
have to say
induction
that.
is hard, it's painful unless they give an epidural. Yeah. So question is, what has kept you from inducing? Oh, look at that. What has kept you from inducing labor? So these are questions that you want to truly process and face, and you will come to realize that I'm only giving excuses. Okay.
Yeah.
So based on that, at the end of this one, this is you say, what can I this week? What will I stop doing? Maybe you need to create time for something. So what do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? And then accountability. Who do I share this with? And sharing it with doesn't mean that, oh, because you shared it, oh, that means I've done it. Like we know the dopamine thing, but you still want to verbalize it. You understand? Okay. So that would help us get through our lesson one. Then we come to lesson two, the tangibility tactics, which is saying that if you cannot translate your spiritual oil, your dream, into a tangible asset, you will always be admired, but you will not be paid. So there's no point, being excited about the idea when it's going to remain an idea. Tangible claims are 2 times more likely to convert to a sale than abstract promises. And your job as the translator is you want to wrap up that dream, that package. You understand? You want to wrap it up and make it a thing of value, as we have discussed in the sessions that we have. Okay? We want to start selling the results. We discussed that at the lesson. We spoke about the vitamin and the painkiller. That are we offering people vitamins or painkillers? Somebody reached out to me yesterday night, and she has a great program for wellness, a wellness program. And she said, is it okay if she shared it with, is it okay if she shares it with the watchers? She's offering one-on-one free coaching, free session, with anybody. And then maybe after that one-on-one free session, if the person feels they need more, then she can start charging them for the service. And I couldn't help myself. I was like, okay, why are you offering it for free? Because she has a license that it wasn't cheap. I think that thing cost like $15,000. So why are you offering it for free? It's a very old model. But you see, it's not even the offering for free that is my issue. It is the fact that she is presenting it as a vitamin, a good to have. And when you present anything as a vitamin, people will not pay because they don't have emergency. Now, I want us to contrast that with, I call him my brother-in-law, even though technically he's my sister's brother-in-law. Now, this guy was diagnosed as having diabetes, right? And he was like, no way. I mean, he's also in the medical field, he's a pharmacist, but that doesn't mean anything. Even medical doctors, the guy went in to discover as much as he could, adjusted his diet like crazy. Long story short, the thing reversed. Now, that same person, if he comes out and tells you, are you tired of going to the doctor and they're telling you today your insulin is this level, tomorrow is that level, come, let me show you how to reverse it. That one is painkiller. So I had to stop because she defended it. And unless you have the knowledge of the fact that stop offering people vitamins, you just continue circling around. So anyway, we want to look at whatever we are doing, audit it. You understand? Audit what you have in terms of, if I'm doing something for somebody, am I saving time? We want to move out of that. We want to see, how am I serving this group, this community? What am I really offering them? Is it time savings? Is it money savings? Is it stress? You define your own tangible offer. That if I am working with these people, for these people, this is what I am doing for them. I'm saving their time. I'm saving them stress. So that when you are thinking of yourself and what you do, you're thinking of it in terms of what you are offering, but you need to do the audits of what exactly. And if it's none of these ones, it is an editable document, then change it and say, okay, I mean, maybe it's not time, but this is what I'm doing for them, or this is what I hope to do for them. All right. And so, what is your promise, therefore? What are you promising anybody that engages what you have to offer? It becomes my core spiritual promise, or my core promise is so that my client achieves this specific measurable results. Think about what you are doing. What would be your promise delivery so that your client will enjoy this result that is measurable? Can you actually think of that? So when you sit down to look at this document, that's what you're asking yourself. Okay? The name of this course was not originally Clarity to Cash Flow. I don't still remember what it was. I can't remember, but whatever the topic was, I was very excited in sharing it with my coach. This is it. And he told me, nobody is sitting down in their house losing sleep over, oh, I don't have clarity. And they don't have clarity. Well, they will have clarity one day. People want to see something that they can measure. And it took me a while to really understand what, what measurable outcomes mean, in a tangible sort of way. So when you look at the people you are going to serve, you need to ask yourself, what will be the specific measurable results that people will have? After all, in your resume, when you write your resume, you write down the results that you got where you are currently working or where you worked before. Is that not so?
Yeah.
So that people can say, oh, wow, you mean you did this? You mean you did this? Okay. So the question is, does your so that statement hit time, money, stress? So you need to look at, or whatever else you choose, you need to look at whatever you are choosing as what your so that is it measurable? Then we spoke about the ROI of revelation, that you must be able to articulate the cost of inaction so that your clients will understand the value of your offer. I remember you shared with us, Moj, that when one of your clients was speaking in a way, almost speaking in a way as, I think you said the gentleman was saying, oh, there are other dry cleaners. You responded that you will not find one like mine
Oh, yeah, I made it clear to him.
that'll be giving you this kind of service.
Yeah. He changed his tongue straight.
Exactly.
I said, yeah, there are many, but you would not find one that would do this. And I looked him straight in the eye. We're different. I said, you will not get this service
Which is
anyway.
critical that you look straight in the eye, because what he expected was for you to beg.
Beg, yes, yes. And I said, no.
So you have to be that confident, and going into any place or space, we really, as kingdom people, must go in there with that mindset that you are lucky to get me, in as much as we desire it. Our pastor will say that we are migrants of destiny. We should disabuse our minds from this idea that, thank God I got to Canada. Hey, they're doing me a favor. They needed us to come because they are a declining population. The population was declining. It's not out of love for Africa or Europe or India that we are here. It's out of the fact that they have an aging population and they need young people to work, so that the longer they stay here, the better for them, because they are contributing more in taxes to the system. That's the psychology. So when people out there are busy complaining, oh, immigration policy, in as much as they don't have to overflood the place, they need it. They needed it. And we are here. So we need to therefore approach so many things with that mindset of, you know your onions, you know who you are. So this says, if my ideal client does not buy my offer, the tangible cost to them is, you process it. If you really believe in yourself, what are they losing? My price is fair. On Sunday, somebody was sharing her testimony about her job offer. And she had planned, when she sat at that meeting, to tell them that she wanted $80,000. And that $80,000 was already a breakthrough for her. But she had been praying. She said, and I think she was on maternity leave, and there was going to be this opportunity came. So she needed to be interviewed for it. So she was still on maternity leave. She came for the interview. And then when they asked her how much does she want to earn, she said she doesn't know how her mouth brought out 6 figures, that she just said it. I was almost like, oh my goodness, it was 80 I wanted to say, but she said 6 figures, no problem. She said the man didn't flinch. The man just said, okay, I'll just have to take it up and get approval for it. She wanted to pinch herself. And then she was still on maternity leave, but it was running off. She said, oh, and she'd like to request 1 extra week on top of her mat leave before she resumes work. Both were approved. Is my price fair? We must not be afraid. We must not be afraid, because we have a God of abundance, a righteous judge, a righteous God, a fair God. So we want to upgrade our thinking. So my finalized so that statement, so now you're going back to this so that, will be what? And then I commit to removing this abstract language from my offers. Whatever abstract way you've been reasoning, if you can find it, you may not be able to answer every question, but this is designed to help you to think. Third one is, we looked at the geometry of service, that you cannot sell to everyone. We looked at the ball versus the what's it called, the arrow or the needle or whatever. Okay, and we looked at shifting from demographics, e.g., I serve women, to psychographics. What is their need? What is their pain? Okay, the demographics we understand is the shell. The psychographic is the soul, the fears, the desires, the shame, the ambition. Any organization that is hiring anybody today, look at your good testimony as an example. You were so excited that you got somebody. She doesn't know that you are excited. That's the interesting thing. She does not know that she was an answer to prayer. But what if she had an understanding that, something, I know my worth, I know I'm going to be of value to this organization. There's probably an approach you may have had, it would be like a game, as it were. But I hope I'm trying to just show you how this thing can balance out. When that happens, it helps with your negotiating power. Again, there's a limit to how far anybody can go. One of my children in moving jobs, said the organization had, where she was before, had felt that, they've tried, and the boss had this attitude of, before you can find something higher than this in this place, it'll be hard for you. She said, okay, I've heard. And she did get it, the higher level than whatever her previous organization thought they could offer her. So after she had now put in her letter and spoke to them, her boss now called her and said, how much exactly did this company offer you? And she showed him the letter. This is it. I'm like, oh, well, I mean, we could have tried to do something for you. No, you thought I will not get it. That is why you did not try. You thought that me being female, being black, I won't get it. But hello, I got it. And so it's the reason she got it, or should I say one of the reasons she got it, was that she knew her value. She understood what she can bring to the table. She was not going to allow, even her colleagues, where they used to pass snide remarks about it, that look, this company is one of the best that pays well. And yes, it is. And that others just blah, 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 blah. She said she will still go and try. Lo and behold, she tried because she believed in her value. She believed in what she had. She did not allow people dictate for her what her value should be, what the commensurate, what's the word now? That's just it. And in many other things. Okay, so you need to go back and look at this and ask yourself, who am I serving? What is my value? And that will strengthen your positioning. All right. We looked at this XY axis of assignments, you know, which again, like, refers to the niche. Here we said not just women, but women re-entering the workforce after divorce, not the X, the word, not just confidence, you know, but you want to build interview skills, whatever it is, you need to ask. It's all about niching down. This is what this particular lesson was about. Okay, they want to look at the bleeding neck test. We gave the example. Who would you attend to first? Someone who hits their leg against a stone, or somebody who enters the emergency with a bleeding neck? All right? In your field, where is the bleeding neck? And if you don't know the bleeding neck, you need to ask God, where is the bleeding neck? You know, sometimes I hear of certain kinds of jobs. I'm like, that is a job. As in, it exists. How do you know that it existed? Some jobs, they don't show put it in Indeed. You won't find it in Indeed. How do you know that this job exists? But it does. So if you don't know where the bleeding neck is in your field, in your business, in your career, this is some of the things you need to be asking. Is my target audience actively searching for a solution right now? You may be thinking this is where you should go, but God, by His Spirit, can open your eyes and reposition you, cause you to pivot into an area that people are blind to. They don't even know it exists. That requires some diligence in the place of prayer and asking God, Father, concerning this thing, where is the bleeding neck? Position me there. Where is the need? It's like asking God to show you the trend. How did Uber know the bleeding neck? How did what are they called again? There's Uber, there is the food. Even Uber enter that now. You understand? Whatever industry. Sorry?
Said Uber Eats.
There's Uber Eats. They've entered other things.
Well, they do logistics now too for delivery.
Yes, you see?
Oh.
You see, and they had to start doing that because the moment I was trying to remember Airbnb, how
Uh-huh.
did Airbnb recognize the bleeding problem? It happened because there was Olympics or something like that happening. These were, I think, they were students. People who could not, everywhere was booked. And these two young men were looking at themselves like, come. Their eyes opened. It was like the case of Haggai, whose eyes opened and she saw a well of water by her side that had been there before. They quickly tied up their room and then they put out an ad that there's a place for a night. Before they knew it, c'est fini. That's how it started. Bleeding neck problem. Now, Uber, the moment they started, it was a case of, it's not only you. I so I can do. Bolt came out. It's not only you. This one came out. It's not only you. Lyft came out. Now we have many. What does that do to the business when you have more people entering the same markets?
Competition now gets up, and then
Market
you have to
share.
specialize. Market share, yeah. So what makes you different? What makes you stand out? Why will I choose you over?
Particularly, so it's a case of there are many. So if before, just the same way as before, we had to call a licensed cab that will even shun you and choose to come when they want to come and charge you exorbitantly. When Uber came in, they fought Uber. Some provinces in Canada did not, like Quebec. It took a while before they allowed Uber to run. Even in this, our Ontario, Toronto, you could not run Uber in Toronto. They fought it. They are dangerous. License your short story. So Uber affected their market share. If we were 1 million here, it's the same 1 million that they were sharing between the licensed drivers and the Uber. So when Lyft comes in, it's the same market. So if Uber wants to maintain their revenue, they needed to diversify. Right? Hence, you have logistics. Hence, you have Uber Eats and all whatnot, because they need to diversify. Airbnb is, in fact, the way Airbnb now became so expensive, sometimes you have to ask yourself, must I go to a hotel? Because before, it seemed like it was a good idea, but sometimes sometimes it's good. We went to a lovely place during Christmas. Really, no hotel can give you that experience, right? It gets away. But if it's that, okay, I want to just go down to Ottawa, there's no point doing Airbnb. Go and pay for your hotel. Because sometimes even that Airbnb, they don't even provide everything as they claim they would. But the point still is this. The origin of these things was that there was a bleeding neck problem. What is your bleeding neck problem? Would they pay today if they found the right answer? Right? Am I going to people who know that they have a problem? Is this a bleeding neck or a dull ache? So these are things that you need to process prayerfully and seek to solve the problem of a bleeding neck. God will reveal it to you. Okay? This also talks about your avatar profile. Who are you?
Sorry, an interesting point. It says, am I going to people who know they have a problem? That means, I don't know, it's just coming out at me that someone has a need and they're not even aware that they have a need. Is that how we're going to process that? Or is it me, I'm going to the wrong people,
yes,
like I'm not going to the right? Okay.
Yes. You don't want to go to people who don't know they have a problem, because that means you're offering them a vitamin. I should not be the one telling you that you have a headache.
Okay.
You should know you have a headache.
Okay,
That is the mindset you want to have. You should know you have a headache. That's why when we present Let me use GTA Spotless Clean Solutions, for example. Our ad says something like, gain your weekend hours. Don't spend your weekend trying to clean. Because the reality, most weekends when they're going to clean, that is the bleeding neck problem. Or spend more time with your family, and let us do the lifts for you, clean for you, that kind of thing. But if I just come and meet you and say I want to clean for you, it's lame, because I'm not calling out the psychological pain. So you want to go to people that know I have a problem and I need someone to solve it for me.
Right.
Yes, it's a good question. So the third one is your avatar. Okay, do you know who you are serving? This one says, what keeps them awake at 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. is just metaphorical. It just means it's something that they're like, I need to solve this. In the book, I spoke to you guys about a lot, the who, not how book. They One of the areas that this guy got to realize was that, I think that's Benjamin Hardy, it was that, I'm sorry, I can't wake up in the morning and be bothering about my breakfast. But there are certain things that were domestic in the house that he found out that he needed that lift off him. Okay. And then his wife also got to the point where she too needed somebody who could help her with the children so that she also can face certain things. So that is like, what is keeping your client awake proverbially at 2 a.m.? What is basically, it's like saying, what is their pain? What do they need to resolve? Like, they're like, gosh, we need this resolved. Now, let me also turn this around in another way. Somebody may have a bleeding neck, but has not been able to articulate it. Maybe I would say somebody has had a bleeding stomach, has experiencing pain in the stomach. But when they ask that person says, I don't know what it is, but this is how the person might put in many words, until one day you come and you describe and you say, do you find it that when you lie down, something grips your tummy like this, and then you have to shout out, hey, yes, that is me. The person has been managing it, but because you were able to describe what the pain is, the person is able to say, that is me. So when you look at certain organizations, they don't know they have a bleeding neck problem, but it is the way you craft the pain that they're having that will make them recognize that they have a bleeding neck problem. I don't know if I'm speaking here. Let me use,
Yes.
you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, if you are able to identify multiple, because say now, because it just shows you one space. Let me say now you write down many things that are bleeding next in your space, many, and then you're praying about it. But which one really should I be focusing on now? Yeah. So let me use, say, a tax consultant. No, let me forget tax consultants. I got a call last week. She's calling from blah, 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 blah bureau. I was like, oh, what is all this? They called the business number. So I'm thinking, what is it? Long story short, what is that bureau's job? They are calling you to ask you if, to tell you that you are being overcharged by the platform that you use to get money from your clients. So, for example, we use Stripe. Some people will use PayPal. We will use Stripe. For every amount of money you pay, Stripe will collect their own percentage. So if I get $500, Stripe takes $15 out of my $500 as their service fee. So what they are calling you is to tell you that you are overpaying, that they are like a consumer advocate. At the end of the day, they want to sell you their own products. That is it. Do you understand? Now, it means, let us say I have 10 transactions a day, amen, which is $5,000 per day. It means Stripe is going to take $150 commission from me. Is that correct? Yes.
Yeah, 15%, yeah.
Yeah. So they are trying to say that, look, they want a piece of the pie. So they present as a bureau that will help, the way they start the language is to make it feel like, oh, they are here to support you. I know where that conversation is going. We can help you here. You can save as much as 20%. And I'm sure 20%, you know what to do in your business to say, I told the lady, I said, I'm okay. Oh, really? You're okay? Like, you don't want to save money? Yes, I'm okay. My business started in November 30th, okay? I have not done that much business to realize how much Stripe is taking. I had to go that way. I was like, oh, okay. So we call you back. Yes, call me back. Now, but she made me become aware of the fact that the charges might be much. So when recently I got a payment through Stripe, my eyes actually opened to see the charge. I would not have looked at it before. Do you get? So it is possible, therefore, they have studied the system and they have realized that people will know. If you come with the angle that, oh, we are here competing with Stripe, go. But she had to look at something that the consumer is not aware of to present it. I think I've made that clear. So you have to just look at those things. All right? Who are you serving? What's their urgent problem? Why do you think that you are the surgeon for this? What skills do you have? What offers do you have that would give relief to your avatar? Okay? So here it says about your niche clarity check. Do you know your niche? Who are you serving? All right. Then we have here, we're still talking about I help who to do what. So you're building that story from the beginning. All right. Who are you helping? What are they trying to achieve? And finally, we now want to look at the profit alignment. Okay. The whole purpose of all this is to make money. We need the money. My poverty does not serve God. My sustainability is what serves God. We must build a system that builds consistency in our revenue. We must build a system that is not dependent on people. Today at work, they were discussing retirement and no retirement. This is among colleagues. The fact that when you get to a particular age, it could be mandatory that you you retire at that age. You can come back, but you must retire first. It happens, look, let us use Nigeria. Once you hit 60, you must retire. It does not mean you cannot work again, because I've seen that happen. I've seen that. I've seen somebody, he retired at 60. Within 2 months, they had called him for another offer, but he had to retire first. Another friend of mine, I know, she also in the next 2 months will be retiring, but already is being offered something, but you must retire first. Now, many people are unable to retire fully because they have not been able to build their economy to be independent of that organization. When it's an organization that at least is nice, they are saying, okay, you can continue and you can still stay here, it's okay. What if it's an organization that says we have no need for your service? What if an organization that says, oh, we're restructuring? Even government, that we used to say government was the safest place if you're in government work, it has changed. One of the departments in school, Ontario government has withdrawn their support. The Ministry of Education, I think they aren't funding the Ministry of Education, that whatever way they're doing it, the money that the Ministry of Education was using to be able to fund that department is no longer available. By September, it will not exist anymore. It will be shut down. All those who were working there have to be redeployed. All of them. Now, the good news is that nobody lost their job, right? They are still hired by the ministry, but now the ministry has to look for where to locate them. You go here, you go there. But there's anxiety. Will it be okay? You understand? So we need to build, no matter where we are, we need to build systems that are not dependent on that. We need to have an assurance of consistency. And that's what all this is about when you come to the profitability alignment workshop. Just look at your freedom number. Go back and do your work. What is your freedom number? Today, and this brings us to the end, module 1, lesson 4, we spoke about your tier 1, your tier 2, your tier 3, basically looking at your multiple streams of income. What other ways are you going to generate income? That you know, okay, this one gives me this one gives me this, all right? And then we look at your mathematics of it. It's all here. And you see the most realistic part to my freedom number is this. What is your freedom number? So that brings me to the end of this worksheet that I am asking us to work on before we now move on to module 2. And please submit it. Now, today, as we round off, we're praying. Our church, we're on prayer and fast. And for the prayer and fast, there are 3 outcomes that have been declared should be our outcomes for the fast. And so, okay, let us pray about it. So it's like a consistent recurring decimal to pray about it. One of it is based on Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 11, that says, may the Lord make you 1,000 times more. And the main conversation around that is that there'll be major progress. So when we pray for wisdom for major progress, God making us 1,000 times more, God distinguishing us such that where we are now will be different from where we will be by the end of the fast. Everything around there. As I was praying today, I was like, if you are saying, God, make me 1,000 times more, it's not a proverbial statement. It's not a metaphor. I said, that means, how much am I earning per month right now? It means I'm asking God to multiply what I'm earning per month by 1,000. Bam! That just changed my mentality. So my question now was, Father, give me the wisdom that will enable me earn this kind of money per month. Are we together? And that is my charge to you. Don't hold back. What is your freedom number? If Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 11 is in the word of God, And the word of God says, may the Lord make you 1,000 times more. Then go back. Go back to the drawing board and say, I want to be this 1,000 times more. There is a wisdom for it. Because there are people that are doing it. They don't have 3 heads. We have the advantage of the Holy Spirit. May the Lord make you 1,000 times more. The goal of this exercise we're doing is clarity that will lead you into the correct cash flow. Let's go back to the drawing board and let's reprogram and reset ourselves. And I'll see us in module 2. That brings us to the end of module 1. Any feedback, any questions, etc, etc. The floor is open.
No questions, but thank you, Pastor Steve.
You're
This
welcome.
has been a very, very, very wonderful session as usual.
Thank you. Moch.
Thank you. No questions. I already asked the questions,
Yeah.
as we went on, and it's been wonderful, It's been I've enjoyed every class, I know that, and I've tried to start to practice as we go along, because I think that's just the only way, when you get the opportunity. It's been quite wonderful. I'm looking
Wonderful.
forward to module 2.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask each of you a question. So starting with Wande. So if you were to tell somebody about what has been your greatest learning in this first module, what would you say has been? Now that gives Moch opportunity to think.
You know?
Oh, you put me on the spot. Okay. The most learning is going back to when you said, I can't remember the word you used, spiritual something, as in something that is like a deposit in you. I can't remember the word, spiritual, whatever it was when we started. I think it's greatest
Conception.
lesson for me. Conception, thank you. Greatest lesson for me is actualizing what I think I should do, because for the past 10 years, my husband keeps telling me that you need to set up your own place. Half of people you work with, you know more than them. And I think he keeps saying it, even every time I complain, oh my God, this happened, or I sorted this, or I did this. Like, why have you not started up your own place? So I think this is making me think more about that. And I think I need to start putting plans into actualizing that.
Tell your husband I said he's a man after my heart. Yes. I am very pleased about that sharing, because that honestly is the goal of these sessions. It's meant to bring about a mind transformation that would make you think differently about what you're doing. Thank you for that sharing. Moch?
Oh, you see, I was listening, not even processing mine. Oh, what would I say for me? I think it's for me is is it called the decision making? I've forgotten the term you called it now, where you actually have a goal. No, I had asked that, okay, within a system, like if you have a plan, like you know how it can be if it's for someone who's doing a startup with the whole business, but if it's within the business whereby you want to do certain things, instead of just talking, taking the necessary steps and the measures to ensure that those are the projects or whatever you want to call them, you're actually doing them and meeting them, not putting them in the is it the pregnancy pause and all that, but getting up and moving on. I think that for me is it's giving me more of a thrust and a push to just go for it. Just, get up and start. Yeah, and do it.
Great, wonderful. So, by the grace of God, we'll start module 2 next Tuesday. I look forward to that. You'll really enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.